Hello everybody, welcome back to, you guessed it, the lovely land of Strasburg. So, this is my update video. So, no, I am not dead. I'm still alive, I'm still kicking, just been busy with work. So, update-wise, let's get into it. I want to keep this video kind of short, because, well, it's time for me to go get dinner, quite frankly. So, let's get into it. So, we got the new release from Trainz Forge. This is a rail diesel car. Pretty unique little thing. If we go in here, it's got its own little thing, and you can adjust the transmission and all that. Really fun. It is now the stand-in for the LONS number 10. It is the closest thing I've got, so hey, I'll take it. It's better than the Doodlebug I had before. It was so bad I got rid of it. Alright, moving on. The freight car concept. So, it's back to its normal, typical 10-car lineup. None of the extra, fictional stuff from, across the street or anything. Same thing with the consist over here. It is back to the regular lineup of Strasburg stuff. None of the fictional stuff is here. However, it is floating around the yard. I've not gotten rid of all of it. I think they're right here right now, yep. But anyway, moving on. We found a Plymouth switcher. I turned the sounds off because they are quite loud and they are very annoying. Alright, moving on. We'll get to 89 in a minute, but nothing's gone on here. Really nothing has gone on at the rest of the railroad, but we will show you some of the cabooses because somebody had asked me about the cabooses in one of the comments. So here are the cabooses. We'll give you a quick little tour here, whip it around, and go down here. I know that not all of these are prototypical in this version. However, I prioritized either cabooses that I like to see that I thought were unique, or cabooses that have a good texture and model to them. For instance, these two cars, this Penn Central one and this Monon one, they're unique for sure, but as you can see, if we zoom in, it's a flat texture, there's nothing to it, and they're really quite pixelated. So if you compare it with this fictional one, for example, the Minnesota Northern, you look at it and it's actually got, textures on the side, and you got your 3D printed aspects, and your even the tie downs for the stack and everything. And if you zoom in, it actually has a pretty cool 3D interior. So anyway, that's the cabooses, and oh yes, the cars. These are fictional. However, I like them, and I think they fit with the whole Pensy theme of the railroad. So we got ourselves a diner car and a observation car. Alright, that's pretty much it. I won't even bother going down the line. You guys have seen all that stuff before. So, going back into the yard. So, I cannot get too close to the engines while I am talking, so I will explain everything and then I will drive them. I tried recording this video before, however, my voice got completely drowned out. So, just bear with the explanation, and then I promise I will show you what I am talking about. So, K&L released, finally, with their new L1, which is the Mikado. They finally changed up their smoke texture file, so it's no longer that white smoke that everybody is so used to seeing with K&L trains. For me personally, I don't have a problem with that white smoke. However, it to me mimics more of an oil burning locomotive, where maybe the whatever's being burned, whether that's bituminous coal, anthracite coal, we'll just simplify it to whether it's coal or oil. Oil burns cleaner than coal, so you're not going to have as much particulate that gets dumped in the air. So, I wanted, something more black. In the past, I have dabbled with changing textures of smoke, and they've all come out like absolute crap. So, I used K&L's model with a little bit of adjustments, but it's mostly the L1 texture. So, you've all seen the original, so I won't even bother showing you the original. if for some reason you haven't, go watch a million other videos, I promise. Not too many people have done this, but we will show you the two different things that I've done. So number one will be with 475 or 90. I'll probably just end up using 90. And then number two will be with 89. So, only difference between the two, the chuff is like the chuff smoke, whereas it's running, that smoke file is the same through all of them. However, with 89, as you see, the smoke coming out of the stack is different. So, without getting too close to the model, so that way it doesn't drown out my microphone, you can see that the smoke coming out is a nice black smoke, and then, you know, fades into a nice white smoke. I love the idea of it. However, you'll notice when I start driving it that with any model of a train, KNL wise, the stationary smoke never stops even when you're in motion. So that stationary billow that you see coming out, even if it's this, stays on throughout the whole thing. So the whole reason why, you know, you can barely see the smoke coming out of it is so that you barely see it when, you know, you're going down the tracks and then you see all the other chuffs. You'll see what I mean in a minute. But I'll back up 89 and then you'll see that 89 looks a little weird. It looks like it has two smokes coming out of it. But, alright, let's show you what I mean. Enough talking. Alright, so now you see that there are very clearly two different smoke files coming out of it. So, as much as I love the idea of the smoke, I think we're going to stay with the clear smoke while it's standing still, because that dual smoke kind of drives me absolutely nuts. But, that is what I've done with the smoke files. Other than that, nothing has changed. Oh wait, I didn't even show you the other one. Let's show you that. Alright, so now you see the smoke, and what I love is that it's black and then it kind of fades into a gray, and then eventually there's barely a white, but it just fades away. So there we go, there you have it. That's pretty much everything I've done. So let's move on from what I have done and let's get into what I will do. So I said in the previous video that I was looking into doing previous versions of Strasburg. So with that in mind, I am going to do two different versions of Strasburg. They are set 40 years apart from each other. Number one is going to be a 1920s era Strasburg. That's right, 1920s. So the 1920s era Strasburg is going to have none of the passenger stuff. None of this existed. It's going to look like a completely different railroad. So it's very much so going to be intended for just operational stuff only. It's not gonna, you know, be filled with passenger cars or steam engines or any of that. It's gonna have a singular 440, which is what ran on the railroad. Let's see if I can find it. It's probably gonna be this one right here, the 1223. And it's just going to be, you know, coming up the line here and then servicing the Hampshire Mill, and then I have to do some research. I'm probably going to get in contact with Kurt Bell to see if I can find any plot maps of what used to be here in town and what was serviced by the railroad. But when I figure that out, we'll add stuff accordingly, and then if it turns out that there was only the Hampshire Mill, then I might add some other things in here that are fictional, just so that you have a little bit of fun with the, you know, shuffling things around before you go down the line. So, but yeah, the major things that are going to change is pretty much everything that's here now is going to disappear, and then well, a lot of the yard track work's going to disappear, and then, well, pretty much all of the yard track work will be gone, and the down here is going to look a lot different too. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And the second version, I have not forgotten, the second version of Strasburg is going to be a original I'm leaning towards 1960s version of Strasburg, when Strasburg just took over the line and are restoring it as a tourist railroad. So this is at the end of its operational life as a strictly freight railroad. So it's going to be a lot of the same, but a little bit different. You'll have an engine shed here then, and it'll look a little different, but it'll be pretty cool. So those are the plans. If I don't end up doing the Strasburg in the 60s, I'll probably end up doing Strasburg in the 80s. That'll allow me to keep some of the stuff that's here, but just change a bunch of the track work here. I won't get into the specifics of it, but some of these tracks here change. Some don't exist. But yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna focus on the 20s version first, and then go back into the 80s. Both are gonna just be modeled off of this. I believe somebody had messaged me directly and asked if I was going to be doing a winter version, and if I would be willing to put out a tutorial for that. Yes, I do have a winterized version of the railroad. However, it is not a, how do I put this? It is a winterized version, but it is of this route like a year and a half ago, which might not make a lot of sense to you guys, but basically the route from a year and a half ago that was pretty much stock and original is completely different than the route that you see here now. There are so many differences that it's really, to me, unrecognizable to somebody that's just looking at the route. They're like, well, they're both the Strasburg. They are, but there's so many nuances that I put into the route. So, and if you want to know what those are, just go watch my first or second video. I explain everything. Or hell, if you really want to do me a favor, go watch all the videos. I post update videos from time to time, and yeah, I even post some tutorials on how to do certain things. Like, for instance, if you really like the look of this real corn rather than the fake corn that's in the route, I have a tutorial on that, so you too can do that. But yeah, the only other thing I should mention is you might notice that, you know, things are popping in and out. When I turn the camera, things render in and disappear now. The reason for that is that I maxed out my graphics card, so I had to turn down the render distance and turn off rendering in details behind the camera to compensate for that. Yeah, I never thought I'd have to do that with a 4080, but yeah, turns out that you do. Would have gone with a 4090, but keep in mind this is probably about a year ago, and well, let's just put it this way: 4090s were flying off the shelf before they were even in stock. So I didn't feel like paying $2,000 for something on eBay. So yeah, 4080 Ti is what I got. But even so, the point is that yes, Trainz still cripples your graphics card. I will stand by the fact that if anybody really wants to test their graphics card to see how much it can handle, run Trainz Simulator and load up a route with a shit ton of detail. I guarantee you will max your graphics card. But that is also a big disclaimer out there. I do run with ultra settings completely maxed. So shaders to ultra, details to ultra, scenery, all that fun stuff. So I could turn that stuff down. Now in-game settings is a little bit different. So if you're unfamiliar with the Trainz settings, there's these settings, and then there are the other settings, which are in the start menu. The start menu is maxed, and then, well, these are maxed currently, but honestly it depends on the route. So before this I was running another route that is less detailed where I could run max. So anyway, that's my little rant there. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. I will do my best to answer them. Well, here's my guarantee to you. I will answer every single comment that gets posted on this video, no matter how stupid it is. I will at least acknowledge that you posted something. In the future, I might be uploading some more Trainz stuff, but it's just going to be as I progress with the other route versions that I want to do. Other than that, not really too much is going to go on. As I said in the previous video, I have reached a point at this particular route, not with Trainz. I will always love Trainz. But with this particular route where I've added so much detail to the point where I don't think I can add too much more detail for two main reasons. Number one being the fact that my graphics card's kind of maxed, so if I add more details, I'm only, screwing myself over just that much more. And number two is that I really do feel like I have reached a point, specifically with this route, where I have, added the details that I wanted to add. So I won't go over all of them. Well, hell, I won't go over any of them. You can go watch my other videos to see that. But this version that I am currently running and the stock version are completely different. The only one that I will namely list that you will blatantly see is this. This is completely different. The original Cherry Crest that comes with the route stops at this curved road with the pavilions, and none of this exists, or any of this. The maze is completely different. It's not real corn, and there's no cars here. That's just one example. And none of the little playthings exist, and if you even look really closely, you'll notice that there are actually mailboxes in the maze. So, yeah, a lot of subtle changes that have gone on. And PVR textures. That is a thing. It is possible. This route is proof of that. But you will have to edit a bunch of things. If you're looking to change to PVR textures only with this route, it's really quite simple. The reason that you get weird glitching effects with the scenery, let's see if I can find any to show you. I'm pretty sure I've ironed most of them out at this point, so it's going to be kind of hard to find something, but that weird glitching effect, like this weird glitching effect that you see, this is when a non-PBR texture, which is what this is, mixes with a PBR texture, which is what that is. See how this one's 3D and this one isn't 3D? The two textures do not play nice together. I won't explain the exact science, I guess, if you want to call it science, as to why it doesn't work, but just trust me, it doesn't. So whenever you have a PBR texture going into a non-PBR texture, you're going to have weird effects like that, jagged edges and stuff. There are plenty, but the easiest way to hide it is, make sure that the transition's somewhere in a field where you're not going to see it, because you got all this, interference. yeah, it's really that simple. If you're going to design a route and you want to use PBR textures, if you're a creator, stick with PBR textures. That's the easiest way to make sure you don't have any of that. Just don't mix the two. If you don't want to use PBR textures, that's perfectly fine. But then a lot of you are going to be posting in the comments, well, you don't have to have your PBR textures on. You can turn that off really easily. To which I say, yes, I know. I am aware, but I'm just putting it out there. You can do PBR textures if you so desire. It is not impossible. It just takes a little bit of work. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it for the video. So I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. I might be playing something else. Who knows? See you guys. Well, apparently not. Apparently the thing isn't loading to stop the video. There we go. See you guys next one. Bye.